Shalom, shalom. Call Hala Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rukagadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who have taught me this truth. And shalom also to the Akim pushing this word in sincerity and in truth, and to the speckled bird across the four corners of the world. Lord willing, this will be an edifying lesson, and let's jump right into it. The first scripture that I want to get is Sirach 33:17. It says, "Consider that I labor not for myself only, but for all them that seek learning." And that's right. The whole basis of this lesson basically is to, let brothers know that we're not just, or let the whole flock in general know that we're not really doing this for ourselves, but for the rest of those that seek learning as well. I remember a brother made a video, I think probably like a month ago, probably a month and a half ago, saying that we had to remember the little guy. And that's right, there's with this word being pushed out daily and brothers making videos daily and the prophecies kicking off, there are Israelites out there waking up every single day. And not only that, but they're going to seek this learning, you know? So this labor that we're putting in to receive this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from the Most High, who opened our eyes to it, is not for ourselves, but is for the rest of the body and, the rest that wake up, in these last days, because we are in the last days, and we have to remember the little guy, you know, the ones that are seeking learning, you know. We don't just, when we water other people, we're not just watering them, we're watering ourselves also, let's get that as well. Let's go to Proverbs 11. Proverbs 11 and 35, it says, hold on. Is it not Proverbs 11:35? Hold on. Oh, con. 11 and 25. Salakia. Salakia. Proverbs 11 and 25, it says, "The liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself." And that's right, the liberal soul. What does liberal mean? That means we're freely going to be giving out this knowledge to those who are ready to hear it, those who are seeking the learning, those who are out there trying to seek the truth, and who are actually trying to know what all this is about, what the scriptures trying to put two and two together, And when we water them, we're not just watering them, but we're watering ourselves also, Just like Paul said, I water it. No, I plant the seed. Apollo waters, but God gives the increase, right? So, we could plant the seed in all these other people, and we could water it. We could water that seed, but at the end of the day, the Lord gives the increase, But at the end of the day, we still got to water and feed the sheep as well. And, we got to remember that we don't just labor for ourselves, but for the rest that seek learning as well, And not only that, but we receive this liberally, we receive this freely. Let's go to Matthew 10. Matthew 10 and 8, it says, this is Yahushua speaking as well. This is Matthew 10 and 8. It says, "Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely ye have received, freely give." And that's right. We have freely received this knowledge and understanding. We were bought with the price. Yeah, we were bought with the price with the blood of Yahushua. But you're not paying tuition. You're not paying thousands of dollars to no college and none of that stuff to get this knowledge. You're literally receiving this knowledge on YouTube for free from brothers who are putting in the work and time and effort day in and day out so that people could literally see the truth for what this world truly is, for what the scriptures are truly about, the truth of the scriptures. Because, I got in a conversation one day and I was breaking bread with a brother. Well, not a brother, but somebody, who could potentially be a brother. And he was telling me that I know I know the Bible, which is the only important book in the world, and I know how to break it down to him. And in my mind, I would say I said Kahala Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because it is not truly me, but is the spirit that works through us and through every other brother that's teaching this truth. You know, we have freely received this gift, so freely we shall give it as well. When we break bread with other people, we're truly planting seeds. This word is the seed. So when we're throwing out the seed out there, some people are gonna receive it, some people will not. So, but the only way we're gonna know who's receiving it and who's not is by throwing the seed out there. And how do we do it? We just gotta freely throw it out there. See who gets hooked in, you know, because even Yahweh, he gives wisdom liberally. Let's get that in James 1:5. It says James 1:5, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Yahweh, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. That's right. Even Yahweh, the Most High, he gives wisdom liberally, freely. Let's look up that word, liberal. Liberally. In large or generous amounts, in a way that is not precise or strictly literal, loosely, in a way that involves broadening a person's general knowledge or experience, in a way that favors individual liberty and moderate political and social reform. So basically, when the Lord gives wisdom liberally, he's given it in generous amounts. He's given it freely. He's given it in a loose way. He's not really being strict about it. If you ask for wisdom and understanding on certain things, he's going to give it to you, because the Most High does that. If you ask in the name of Yahweh Shai, it says, ask and you shall receive. So if you ask for wisdom, the Most High is going to give it to you. Not only that, but when he gives you that wisdom, he's going to give it to you so you can edify another brother that might need it. And that's how the Spirit works sometimes. Sometimes you're reading a scripture, and then when you go and break bread with a brother, and you give your a scripture that you just might have read, you might give them a whole different point of view, and then that's edification right there in itself. Or vice versa. A brother could be reading a scripture, and then you have a question, and when you ask him, it could be literally the Spirit answering what that brother was just reading, and the question that you just had is like, damn, like the Spirit lined it up perfectly for the brother to read that certain scripture, and for you to have that question. That's the perfect, that's a perfect situation. That's the Spirit, So it truly isn't just about ourselves. Is that the body, this church, is constantly growing. The Spirit is overflowing. We're getting prepared for the coming of Yahweh Shai. So we, it's growing. This is growing. Let's go to Proverbs. Proverbs 10:16. It says, Proverbs 10:16, the labor of the righteous tendeth to life, the fruit of the wicked to sin. And that's right. This labor is a righteous work. We're waking up the hopeful elect. Lord willing, we are part of that number, the 144,000, the prophets, the men, and not only that, but the 1/3. We're tending to life. These words that we're preaching, the gospel, Salakia, is more life. What we're really doing is the labor of life, the labor of love, the of more life. We're not in this wicked ass world in our old in the old man, you know, doing the same old things. We left all those things so that we could do this work and be counted as a good and faithful servant when that day comes. You know, we don't want we don't want to be we don't want any faults being found in us when that day comes. You know, so when we labor in this love in this work of love, you know, we're doing this so that not only ourselves could be cleansed of all the sins that we have done before ourselves, but so the rest of the body could be edified and know how to walk properly in the straight way, so that they could get to the kingdom of heaven. And not only that, but be of that one body in that one church, so that we could get there uh, um, and see that day fulfilled before our eyes. That's our hope and that's our faith, you know. But before that, we still gotta put in the work and labor, and you know, tend to life. You know, the wicked, the fruit of the wicked is to sin, but we're trying to keep the we're trying to rehearse the righteous acts to the best of our ability. And not only that, but trying to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and letting our brothers and sisters know likewise that they need to do the same as well, so that they could be ready when that day comes as well. You know, we don't want to be like that wicked servant saying that the coming of the Lord, he delayeth his coming. Nah, we know he's on his way. Everything is lining up so perfectly. We know he could come any day now. You know, he could come any moment. You know, that's why we gotta be ready. We gotta be vigilant. You know, constantly edifying, watering, so we water ourselves also. And then when we water ourselves also, then we could water it again. The cycle just keeps going, you know. Let's go to it's all for edification's sake, you know. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 14. 1 Corinthians 14 and 26, it says, "How is it then, brethren, when ye have come together, every one of you has a psalm, has a doctrine, has a tongue, has a revelation, has an interpretation? Let all things be done unto edifying." And that's right. You know, some brothers have different levels of understanding in these scriptures. You know, some have an interpretation of certain things, some have a doctrine, and others have different things that they could go into. And let you know, Paul basically here he's saying to let all things be done into for edifying. You know, and you know what, this whole chapter 14 goes into a lot of that. You know, let's go to 1 Corinthians 14:5. It says, "I would that ye all spake with tongues, but rather that ye prophesied. For greater is he that prophesieth than he that speaketh with tongues, except he interpret, that the church may receive edifying." You know, and that's right. When you prophesy, and you're able to break down prophecies to somebody that may have be looking and trying to seek that knowledge, you know, you're basically letting them know, and you're watering them, and prophesying unto them. And you know, the scriptures say that the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. So when you prophesy and you talk not only about the prophecies that are going to be fulfilled, but how they're going to be fulfilled through Yahushua, you know, that's the spirit of prophecy. And that's basically edifying the church. And who is the church? We are the church. No, it's not an actual body like so like not a body, but I mean like a building, you know, but it's a body. You know, I mixed that up, but what I meant was that it's not an actual building, but it's a body. You know, we are that body, we are that church, we are that temple, you know. So when it says that the church may receive edifying, it's really talking about the 1/3 and the 144,000, you know. Let's go to and you know, who is the head of the church? The head of the church is Yahushua. Let's get that real quick. Colossians 1. Let's start at the point is in 18, but let's start at 16. It says Colossians 1 and 16, "For by him were all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist. Hold up. Let me go into that word consist real quick, because that's a good word. Consist. Consist. Be composed up or made of. Made up of. Have something as an essential or the main feature. Damn, so when it says, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist, that means everything that we see in this world literally consists of Yahweh Shai. And verse 18, the point, and he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he may have the preeminence. Let's look into that word preeminence as well. Preeminence. That in all things he may have preeminence. Bear with me real quick. Preeminence. Don't worry, let me look it up right here. Preeminence. The fact of surpassing all others, superiority. Wow. So when it says that in all things he might have the preeminence, is basically saying that in all things he might have the superiority. He is the head of the church. He's the head of the body. We are that body. We are representative of that body. You know, we're going to get into that as well. So when we edify and we teach and we're laboring in this work, it's not just for ourselves, but it's for the edification of the church, which is the body, which belongs to Yahweh Shai. He is the head of that body, you know? So we have to realize that we got to remember the little guy. So the little guy, he might be seeking that learning, and the way we give him that knowledge is by, you know, constantly laboring in this work, you know, liberally giving this knowledge. Freely we have received and freely shall we give, you know. Damn. This next scripture that I want to get is let's go to 1 Corinthians 3 to prove that we are that temple, we are that church, you know. We are the temple. This is 1 Corinthians 3:16. It says, know ye not that ye are the temple of Yahweh, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy, for the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are. So we are that temple, we are that body, we are that church. We are part of the members of that body. You know? Let's get that as well. Let's get that in for 1 Corinthians 12, and then we'll end it with that. It says 1 Corinthians 12, it says, for as the body is one, has many members, and all the members of that one body, being many, are one body, so also is Hamashiach. So since he represents the head of the church, we represent the rest of the body. He is the head, you know. So some brothers might represent the fingers, the toenails, the palm, the forearm, the chest, you know, different body parts, but they're all one of the same body, which is Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, you know. The verse 13, for by one Spirit are we all baptized into one body, whether we be Jews or Gentiles, whether we be bond or free, and have been all made to drink into one Spirit. And when it says Gentiles, it's really talking about the lost tribes of the house of Israel, you know, the scattered that are among the heathen, you know, all the ones that are throughout the four corners of the world, because they were made Gentiles by being carried away by the dumb idols, you know. It says, for by once, let me read the next verse, you know. We're all baptized by that one Spirit, you know, that one Spirit makes us one body, you know. For the body is not one member, but many. If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? Right, so Salakia. I'm scratching myself. But Salakia. But you know, your foot is not gonna say to your hand, "Hey, I'm not the hand, so I don't belong to the body." But that does not make sense. The perspective of the hand is gonna be totally different from the perspective of the foot. Some brother might represent that foot, another brother's gonna represent that hand. But when they come together and water each other, they're gonna get totally different perspectives, and that's gonna edify the body. That's gonna edify the church, and ultimately, is gonna grow the in understanding and knowledge. Is gonna grow the body. You know, it's gonna be for edification's sake. And if the ear shall say, because I am not the eye, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? If the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing? If the whole were hearing, where were the smelling? But now that has God set the members, every one of them, in the body, as it has pleased them. And if they were all one member, where were the body? But now are they many members, yet but one body. And that's right, we're all one body. So if we represent different parts of the body, we got to remember, a brother might be representing an eyelash, another brother might be representing a toenail. But if we liberally give the things that Yahweh is giving to us in different portions, and then bring that together for the sake of edification, we're gonna see that each one of us is getting different perspectives from the Spirit. And when we put that together, we're watering the body, we're watering the church. Is all for edification's sake. We got to remember that we're not doing this for ourselves, but for the rest of the body and those who are seeking the learning. There's always something new to learn with these scriptures. And with that, that's pretty much all I want to say. That we're not laboring for ourselves, but for the body, for those who are seeking learning. That's basically the whole lesson. So with that, I want to say, call Allah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Wa Ba Shalom.